ABC Sport, this is the Queensland Cup Grand Final, live from Dolphin Oval. Today, minor premiers Burleigh Bears meet cup holders the Redcliffe Dolphins. It's a glorious day. It's the day that they all play for all year, and it's come down to Burleigh and Redcliffe. Which one of them will hold the Queensland Cup high in about 90 minutes? Well, we'll know pretty soon, and in the meantime, we're in for a fantastic game of footy. Let's have a look and see how they made it to the grand final. In the major semi-final, Burleigh were victorious over Redcliffe by 26 points to 24 to come straight in here. Redcliffe then had to take on Wynnum, but they were really impressive in the preliminary final to qualify to come up against Burleigh again. With us in commentary again, David Wright and Warren Boland. Dave, you've been commentating for 25 years now, plenty of grand finals, and let's hope this one lives up to some of the best of them.
Well, Jerry, I think it's a bit scary, really, when you think it's a quarter of a century, but I have seen some great grand finals over those years, and I expect this one to be right up there with the best. We've got the best defensive side in the competition in the Burleigh Bears, up against the best attacking side in the competition in Redcliffe, so that all goes well for a fantastic contest this afternoon. To add to that, two very proud records from these clubs. You've got Redcliffe. They have played in 7 of the 8 Queensland Cup Grand Finals, the last 5 straight, and of the 6 that they played in to date, they've won 3 of those, so they've got a fantastic record. But Burleigh, interestingly enough, their record is the record they've got against Redcliffe. They are the only side with a positive win-loss ratio in the whole of the Queensland Cup against Redcliffe. That's 10 wins and only 7 losses, so they'll be very competitive here this afternoon. Will they be the Redcliffe bogey side? Well, we'll find out in a couple of hours. Let's have a look at the Redcliffe team that'll take the field today. This is pretty close to full strength for Redcliffe, and that's one of their big advantages. Mackay at fullback, the three-quarter line, Shilbach, Richters, Jellick and Barba. Very strong back line there. The key, this is the halves, Perry and Roberts, very good players. It's the synergy between those two that will perhaps decide the strength of the Redcliffe performance this afternoon. And then a very good forward pack, Trent, Campbell and Starr. That's a big, strong forward lineup. They'll need it against the Burleigh 6. And then a very mobile back row, Jones, Burke and Fluggy. They've got a good side, but Warren, so have Burleigh. I don't think there'll be much in it.
No, David, it shapes up as a tremendous grand final. You just can't split them really coming into the game. 2 weeks ago in the major semi, Burleigh defeated Redcliffe. It was 26-24, but we know that Redcliffe, with Michael Roberts back in the team, were a much better side, an improved side, and they will be again today, so nothing between these two. The one concern for Burleigh, they've only played 1 game in 4 weeks. Will they have the match condition in this hot weather to run out a full 80 minutes? And who knows, maybe even extra time. Let's take a look at their lineup. It's very, very strong. Trent Purdon at the fullback, Dimitri Pello and Asiri Lang on the wings. Adam Hutchison and Reggie Cressbrook are the centres. Cressbrook set up 2 tries for Lang in that major semi. They'll be dangerous. Ryan Gundry and Brett McConnell, very important game for them, particularly McConnell. He's relatively inexperienced but has been playing very well at halfback. The front row is very powerful. Adam Cook and Shane O'Flanagan in particular. Ryan Dagwell in the hooker role. Stan Berryman, Tony Gray and Dean Allen in the back row. And Matt Harridan coming in on the bench because Chris Nahi isn't playing. It's a big test for him. Hasn't got a lot of experience at this level. Look, it shapes up as a tremendous game. You can't separate them. Here at Redcliffe are going to be very hard to toss. It comes down to who can produce their best on this all-important day.
And befitting an all-important day, a big crowd here at Dolphin Oval to watch the grand final. There's a lot of red, so there'll be tremendous support for the Redcliffe Dolphins. And they've had a fantastic lead into this because in the 2 grand finals that have already been decided, they've won both of them, both the Colts and the A-grade. So they'll be very keen to take all 3. It's a huge afternoon. Mind you, plenty of people have come up from the Gold Coast. You'd swear blind you were on the coast looking at that shot there as the Dolphins come out onto the field, led out by Michael Roberts. Here they are in front of their home crowd. Looks like they're going to be defending the northern end. So they'll be going with the breeze first up. And look at that just calm coolness that appears to be on the face of this team. And Michael Roberts, who has been just superb. He missed the major semi, and he was probably a key absentee from that game when they lost to Burleigh. But he was back last week, even with a broken finger in his hand, and was still able to play a vital role in their win over Wynnum. And he'll be looking to do exactly that again, stirring up the teams. Aaron Barba, the top try scorer for the year. He's just actually received his award for that at a dinner only half an hour or so ago. He was quite happy to turn up, go and accept the award, and then be here to look to add to his 30 tries that he has already this year, 28 last year, and he's heading off to Penrith next year. So it's been a superb career in Queensland Cup for Aaron Barba. And that look of concentration on Michael Roberts as the Burleigh team comes out.
Very strong outfit, this Burleigh. They've only played one game in the last month, and whether these hot conditions today will take their toll toward the end of the match remains to be seen. The feature of the Burleigh side is their very aggressive defence. They've got a very in-your-face defensive pattern. They don't hold at any point in their defensive line. They come up and attack any opposition. Dean Allen there really urging on his team. Last minute G-up as they get together, interestingly enough. To group around, we often or sometimes see sides do this. The last little bit of, look, we're in this together. We're here to do the job. Whilst Redcliffe stand ready to receive the kickoff, Burleigh, and we're also waiting for the referee as well, so it gives a chance for Burleigh to just get together for that last couple of seconds, just to really bond, I guess, the final bit of bonding to say, guys, this is teamwork.
What sort of bonding is that, Dave? Not the traditional kind, I don't imagine.
No, not the drinking bonding, but you can see there they've even put arms around one another to say we're in it together.
And it's the first grand final for Adam Neal, a very impressive young referee that we've seen for a couple of seasons now on our Queensland Cup coverage. What a moment for him. A very special day to be refereeing a grand final for anybody. And when you're a young referee on the way up, you can't go much better than refereeing the grand final itself. Brent McConnell will be kicking off for the Burleigh Bears. They're in the maroon colours, running right to left on the screen. And the Redcliffe Dolphins in their traditional red and white, coming from left to right.
Interesting enough, Jerry, that Redcliffe have won the toss and elected to take this breeze in the first half, which is exactly what they did against Wynnum last week, albeit the Bees was a lot stronger.
Everything ready now for the kickoff. Referee Adam Neal just checking with the sideline. Off we go. The kickoff by Brent McConnell, and the grand final of 2003 is underway. Redcliffe with the first use of the ball. And look at that defence. Danny Burke smothered as Burleigh got up right into his face. Cleared away now. Oh, try to Reggie Cressbrook. Cressbrook in the opening moments of the game has scored for Burleigh. And they lead by 4 points to 0. A sensational opening to the Queensland Cup Grand Final.
Well, you've got tactics and you've got counter-tactics. Did Redcliffe decide to move the ball early? There was a little bit of indecision at the dummy half. Big Shane Trunk was ready to take a ball forward. They put it in behind, I think, to Barba. He throws the long pass, and Reggie Cressbrook, one of the best at the intercepts, swoops through. But again, you can see Burleigh not waiting for anybody. They come up, they rush at the attack line, and look at the celebration there on the Burleigh team. What a bonus to come up with points in the first minute of the match and from an intercept. I don't know that I've ever seen it in those 25 years that we've had.
You see something new every day, they say, Dave, and there you are, 25 years of it.
No matter how old you are.
Exactly.
Reggie Cressbrook now to add the extras, and what a dream start for the minor premiers.
Perfect view of his job there, with the Dolphin Leagues club in the background. Reggie Cressbrook makes it 6-0 in favour of Burleigh.
Well, it couldn't have been more than 10 or 15 seconds, Jerry, maximum, and the ball was being planted. A huge tackle by Adam Hutchinson rocked Redcliffe. They decided to throw it wide. There's Barba looking for Perry, but out of the blue, it's Reggie Cressbrook. They had decided to get it away from the big tackling, the pounding that was going to come in from the Burleigh forwards. Instead, they've conceded a try. What a shock start to the grand final.
Now, in the major semi-final, it was Redcliffe that scored in the opening minutes of the match, and their coach, Neil Wharton, felt that they went to sleep after that, and so Burleigh were able to get right on top of them. So that'll be an interesting aspect to see just how Burleigh handled this now. The fact that they've started so magnificently and lead by 6 points to nil. But I tell you what, they're doing a pretty good job. Taken forward by Dean Allen, and he's tackled just inside his own 40. How strong is that breeze, Warren, on the sideline?
Well, Jerry, I mean, I wouldn't say it's strong. It's an advantage, but it's not worth that many points, put it that way. It's just an advantage, and it will help Redcliffe kicking downfield into this corner, down towards the southern end of the field in this first half.
Good pick up there by Ryan Gundry, down at his toes. And good chase as well, and they're close to the touchline where Aaron Barba will play the ball, and there's a little bit of argy-bargy between him and Dimitri Pello. Taken forward now by Adam Starr, but even Adam Starr, who generally makes ground quite comfortably, is stopped.
And Jerry, Pello and Barba are still at it. They're still yelling across the ruck at each other. And also Aaron Barba's got a very heavily strapped left hand.
This is a real grand final. Grand Flug is tackled 8 metres in Burleigh's territory. Played now to Jason Campbell. Good run by Campbell across the 30. Still rolling forward. Just 20 metres short of the line. Here come Redcliffe now. Can they finish this off? Little kick over the top by Shane Perry. It's a beauty. Beautifully taken by Trent Purdon. The Burleigh fullback taking it in the in goal. Superb defusing of a bomb.
Yeah, fantastic work from Purdon, because Aaron Barba was swooping up on the outside. We know how awkwardly a rugby league ball can bounce, and certainly Purdon wasn't going to allow it to bounce.
And David, Barba and Pello are still at it, and I know what it's about now. Barba said to the touch judge, what about the eyes? He reckons he got scraped across the eyes by Pello in that tackle.
Yeah, there was plenty in that tackle, and Barba did well in the end to stay in the field of play, because 3 players swamped him. Now, strong defence from Redcliffe. Over the top there, Danny Burke. Connell, here to Gundry. Extras on the outside if they can use it. Stan Berryman. Beautiful little work by Berryman. Brush off on the inside. Looks back in. Pull pass, play on. Out to Purdon. No, he could have given it to Pello. Touch, 6 to go. Great chance now for Burleigh to continue the attack. Gundry, good pass up to McConnell. Up to the big fellow and O'Flanagan. Redcliffe will have to now put their backs to the wall.
Stand up quickly.
In a dummy half, Dagwell. They're going to come down a blind side. There's Gundry, little grubber kick into the end goal area. Oh, it's been missed. Pello, no, not dead. Not dead by a good covering effort, I think. By
Justin Mackay was the man, I think. He just got his fist to the ball to punch it across the dead ball line. He flew on it just as well, because Aaron Barba looked like he might get it. There was the kick through. Barba.
Tell me where I'm going to.
Barba, sorry, who was that? Yes, Barba tried to flick it away, but then it was Justin Mackay appeared just in front of Dimitri Pello.
Well, what about the break by Stan Berryman? They had the numbers, and Berryman almost seemed a clumsy play. They seemed to go to the second man rather than just taking the opening with the first. But Berryman threaded his way through and set sail downfield.
You wonder whether he might have been better off just keeping going too, Warren.
Well, yeah, you know.
I mean, he's a big man and he can break a tackle.
Yep.
He had a bit of support there, and he just couldn't find him directly. It was a bit of luck then to see the restart of the tackle count. But Redcliffe, whilst they've shown a glimmer of their attack about a couple of minutes ago, now they're back under pressure, and Burleigh really on a high. There's the strength of the breeze, taken there by Trent Purdon. Up there to Adam Cook, big fellow, gets it up over the 40-metre line. Redcliffe are going to have to go up a bit of a gear here, because Burleigh have started at 100 mile an hour. Redcliffe, you've got to fight fire with fire. Out of dummy half.
That's 2. That's twice you're holding
Bagwell. McConnell. This time to Tony Gray gone forward. So Burleigh, who've had everything going their way to date, finally produce an unforced error. Will be a huge sigh of relief. Not a lot in that pass either. Huge sigh of relief for the Dolphins.
Head-to-head between these two teams. Burleigh have the wood on Redcliffe. They've beaten them 10 out of 17 times that they have met. And in finals, Burleigh have won 3 to Redcliffe's 1. And it was something that was pointed out by Rick Stone, their coach, that they do have a good record against Redcliffe. And they'd be probably one of the few that have a positive record against Redcliffe.
Yeah, the only one. I think Toowoomba are the closest to that. That was very close to a forward pass as well.
Danny Burke caught just short of the halfway. Jason Campbell's the dummy half. Michael Roberts on his left. Roberts showing it inside and taking the tackle. The man going through was Damien Richters. He wasn't able to get the pass to him. Now across field to Shane Perry. Lost by Tronk. Mistakes that you can't afford in a grand final. Adam Cook takes his time picking up the ball. and caught just outside his own 30.
There's a bit of nerves here. Both sides are just not clicking totally. Burleigh just with the upper hand, but they've both made a couple of uncharacteristic errors. They'll settle down shortly.
Asiri Lang did well to evade so many tacklers there. 5 short of the halfway, played to Dagwell, across now to Perry, to Ryan Gundry, and he's caught on the halfway. Now it's Shane O'Flanagan taking it 10 metres into Redcliffe's territory. That was a good run by a front rower. Dagwell takes it away now. Tony Gray up across the 30. So the big men have done a good job and nicely set away to Dagwell. Dagwell up, 15 short of the line, he'll play it. Gundry's the dummy half. Played now to Gundry, away to McConnell. McConnell out to Dean Allen's, left it behind. There'll be a couple of knock-ons. They'll play the first, which was from Burleigh. It'll be Redcliffe scrum on their own 20.
One of the most experienced players, Dean Allen, the skipper of the Burleigh side, just not taking that cleanly. And again, Redcliffe, a sigh of relief because they've been the ones absorbing most of the pressure. Second time that Burleigh have made an error in this end of the park.
Not a good catch at all by Dean Allen, but mind you, the Perry pass was rushed when he should have been kicking downfield at the end of the Redcliffe set. So a couple of nerves from experienced players.
Redcliffe now to work it out of their own territory. Brian Jellick driven back again by some strong Burleigh defence. Good wrapping ruck, this one by Adam Starr. Picks up 8 metres. They just want to roll their way out of their own territory. Roberts first receiver, second man there to Tronk. Tronk tries to brush away from one, but again the defence coming up well past the advantage line to affect the tackles. Up there to Perry, he's inside his 40, he's got support of the breeze as well. This is a good kick if he can get the bounce, but he doesn't. Just goes back in field and covered pretty comfortably in the end by Trent Purdon. He's got Dimitri Pello on his outside, but good chase there from Redcliffe to make sure he doesn't get too far past the 20-metre line. Reggie Cressbrook, the try score up there to Dimitri Pello. Little interchange of passes. Asiri Lang, he won't worry about interchange of passes. A big, strong man. Steals another good 10 metres. Out of dummy half, Dagwell. Up there to Shane O'Flanagan. Rolled it up well. That's the 4th tackle. Got it up over the halfway line. Dagwell up there to Dean Allen. Again, nothing fancy there from Burleigh this time. He kicks it away up to Reggie Cressbrook. The defence comes to him. Ripped as it was initially. 5th and last. It's a tricky breeze if they want to put it high. Instead, Allen, little chip over the top. Going into a bit of space as well. Could bounce awkwardly, but good work. Justin Mackay to get across and kill whatever opportunity there was for a loose ball.
And a good set of 6 there too for Burleigh. I know that Neil Wharton was commenting on 2 ways of going forward. You can use your big men like they have in Tronk. And now they're making a bit of a breakout wide too, as Brian Jellick is caught just 10 metres short of the halfway. Yes, you can use your big men or you can use the dart from dummy half, and Burleigh seem to be using both of those really well. Now Tronk up almost to the halfway for Redcliffe. Perry takes over the dummy half roll and is looking like kicking just over the top, followed through by Barba, but grabbed well by Purdon. Trent Purdon, the fullback, keeps going. Tackle 15 from halfway, and they'll get a penalty here.
Aaron Barba involved again. He's taken some frisky pills this afternoon, Barba. Playing likely his last game for Redcliffe. He's been signed by the Penrith Panthers. Let's have another look at it. Barba in midfield, comes over the top with a more than a flopping action. Hasn't gone on report.
Of course, he was over there chasing that short kick through from Shane Perry. Interesting tactics by Redcliffe, putting just the short chip over the top, and that
has gone on report.
And that will draw the fullback forward and maybe open up a couple of 40-20 opportunities if the fullback has to play shallow. But that was certainly illegal from Barba and deserved a penalty.
Redcliffe have had it. Oh, he's lost that ball first up. Great tackle from Redcliffe. I was going to say, I don't think Redcliffe have had possession for much time at all inside their opponent's territory. But they're about to change all that. They've got some great territorial possession now, and they're just the side who can take advantage of it. 6-0 they trail. Big fellow in Shane Tronk. Good tackle there from O'Flanagan. Got up quickly and hit hard with the shoulder. Campbell up to Perry. Dummy's back on the inside. Throws another dummy. Takes the tackle. Jason Campbell, a dummy half. Looks left. Comes back to the right hand side to Roberts. Very flat back line there. Basically forced Roberts to run. Ben Jones, a dummy half. He's going to run out of there as well. Throws the dummy. Goes himself. Stands for a moment. He's just come back from 3 years down at Penrith. Out of dummy half, Brian Jellick, he's strong. Flicks it out the back door to Barba. He's quick. Barba dances around and he's hit for the touchline. Barba rushing back in field. He's going to make another complaint, Barba.
No,
a penalty.
He's got a penalty, yeah.
Inside the 10 metres, but of course the try line, they have to retire to at least there. Penalty to Redcliffe. Great chance for them now to even up the ledger.
Well, he might have been offside, Trent Purdon, but boy, it was a good tackle, forcing Barba across the touchline. They've taken the tap. So now big Shane Tronk. Stopped just 10 metres short. They're putting him to the ground effectively, those big men for Redcliffe. Burleigh. Now Michael Roberts, danger man close to the line, and the pass has gone astray and is grabbed by a Siri Lang for Burleigh.
And Jerry Wyatt went astray. Was that Ryan Dagwell, the number 9 for Burleigh, came up and wasn't waiting for Roberts to weave his magic behind the line. They do attack in their defence, and that's causing Redcliffe some problems at the moment.
Siri Lang.
Yeah, after that whirlwind try from Burleigh, but go away, they go Purdon!
Beautiful break.
Purdon up across the 30. And they've claimed a couple of defences got to him. Reggie Cressbrook up there quickly. Back inside to McConnell. McConnell with pace. Very close. 12 metres short. Daggle's a dummy half and they're getting themselves organised, Burleigh, for a full-on attack here. Nicely turned back inside by Gundry, but Stan Berryman has tackled. Just 10 metres out from the line. Dean Allen with a grubber into the in goal. Might still
be a try.
It could be a try. They'll have to have a look at that surely, because if Dimitri Pello... No, knock on.
It's called a knock on. Beautiful little rubber kick again. Yeah, I guess it did come off the number 3 and Adam Hutchison, but it was probably worth going to the video. There wasn't a hell of a lot in it. And, well...
Burleigh should have played it up a bit more, I think, just to get the video to check it.
Look at the for and against. It's so even. 343 to 327.
Yep. And that's what got Burleigh the minor premiership and the first final at home. There's the fans. Well, they've decked themselves out in the Redcliffe boys anyway, in plenty of red and white. It's dominated, as you'd expect, being Redcliffe's home ground.
That's a concern. Stan Berryman receiving attention. Hit around the ribs by the look of it.
Yeah, that was Mackay underneath him. That's a great tackle. Fullback on second row, and a very sturdy second row.
He's a damaging player, isn't he, Berryman? And certainly couldn't do without him in this grand final.
After that whirlwind start with Burleigh scoring in the first 10 seconds, both teams have been nervous. They've lost the ball early in the tackle count. Really have to settle down and get some control over possession.
Redcliffe now to work it out of their own territory. Trent Purdon, who made that big break there before for Burleigh. He's playing against his old club here today. He'd like nothing more than to get up a win against his old club. Danny Burke, not a lot of fluency there, but he does well to stand in the tackle and pop it out the back door. Good pass up to Campbell. Flat, and not only flat, but forward. The touch judges advising the referee there that the pass had gone forward, Justin Mackay, and I think they've got it right too.
Oh, gee, I reckon that was flat, David. It was right in front of me, and in this angle it looks flat. But that's Mackay getting involved around the ruck. Completion rates. Redcliffe only 4 out of 8. Burleigh a bit better, 7 out of 10.
Not good enough for 4 out of 8, so they're making it hard for themselves, the reigning premiers. Dean Allen now to come down a blind side. Jellick drags him toward the touchline. Ryan Gundry drops into dummy half. Face ball up to Tony Gray. Gray pops it up to Adam Cook, who was standing a little bit flattish. Gets it to midfield. Good position to tap either side of the ruck. Brent McConnell. Flanagan comes back on the inside, but O'Connell can't offload. He decides not to. Cressbrook, the original try scorer, up there to back on the inside eventually to Dagwell. Gray, who offloaded to him. McConnell, fifth and last. Crossfield kick. Will be an awkward one, although Barba seems to have it well covered. He does it nicely. Takes it on the full. He'll come back to the 20 for a tap.
It's interesting on those forward passes. We've seen one ruled against each team so far. But I know I was talking to Eddie Ward, the referee's coordinator, a few weeks ago, and he was telling his referees, always, of course, rule it if it is a forward pass, but if you're in doubt, let it go. And I think we've seen something that could have been let go.
Danny Burke caught 12 short of the halfway. One-handed pick up by Jason Campbell. And working his way forward, Adam Starr. Dagwell was the man who helped to bring him down anyway. From dummy half, Campbell take it into Burleigh's territory. Redcliffe now, let's see what they can do on the attack. Perry, danger man, lovely pass to Jones, and kept alive too. Campbell backing up, and takes the tackle, the fifth tackle that is. Mackay was up there at dummy half, and Perry puts it nice and high. Pressure on Purdon, but taken beautifully by Lang. Asiri Lang.
Well, that's great take by Asiri Lang. He was shading his eyes there when it first went into the air, but then he took it on himself. Obviously not good communication between he and his fullback. Well, Trent Purdon must have thought he was back playing for Redcliffe when big Asiri Lang, his own teammate, crashed into him. But he certainly did diffuse what could have been a dangerous situation. Burleigh now to get it out of their danger zone. They are against the breeze. No Flanagan. Was he knocked to the ground a second time? The referee happy with it. Asiri Lang runs out of dummy half. Does pretty well to get up another 7 or 8 metres.
He have to have gained more metres than a whole lot of players in this grand final so far. Asiri Lang with those darts from dummy half.
Yeah, and Burleigh now trying an attacking kick on the last tackle. Little chip over the top. Easily diffused in the end.
Not a good one from Gundry, straight to the opposition. And Burleigh, for the number of breaks they've made, have only got the one try on the board in that first 10 seconds.
And Redcliffe, if they can hang on to a bit of possession, they are showing that they're very threatening, as you'd expect. Roberts out to Perry, comes back on the inside, holding it out in one hand, looks for support, finds Roberts, faces across the ruck, long pass to nobody, and it's going to go, oh, well, they just jumped a couple of times, Aaron Barba, to try and regain his balance and couldn't. So the Redcliffe machine, not well oiled at the moment.
Well, Barba could have shown more urgency there. He did the right thing to let it bounce. He couldn't get to it on the full, but then just seemed to take all the time in the world. He just had to get back infield, get away from that touchline.
He then tried something unusual, a little left-footed kick over the top, but it was all too late. He'd put his right foot into touch. Now there's a blood bin here. Ryan Dagwell has stepped away from the scrum. So it's Dagwell who will have some blood cleaned up. And Burleigh have one man short in their scrum.
Fortunately, they've got the loose head and feet.
Ryan Gundry. Good run by Gundry. 15 short of halfway, he plays it. Dimitri Pello comes in. He's like Barba. He's opposite on the wing out there, getting him involved, but he's knocked it on. Second tackle.
Yeah, Gundry tried to very quick play the ball and was very clumsy in the end. He complains that he was inhibited. But that's... you just can't afford to keep giving Redcliffe possession.
I think it must have been against Gundry for the bad play the ball, was it, rather than the knock-on? I didn't see a knock-on.
Yeah, but it was a clean pickup, wasn't it?
Yep.
Brian Jellick turns it back on the inside to Barba. Through again, Barba, and he's through completely. Aaron Barba. He's been... he points back to the crowd to salute. Well, he's been having a go at everybody, Aaron Barba, so far in the match. He's been fired up. Beautiful pass back on the inside by Brian Jellick from the base of the scrum. It's such a dangerous attacking platform these days. Jellick got behind enemy lines, and then Barba, like a shot out of the gun, went through a minute gap.
There it is, beautiful step by Brian Jellick, turning the pass back inside to Barba, who did the right thing by going away from the touchline, back infield, wrong-footing the defence, and putting it down for an excellent try. His 31st of the season.
And I think that point, Jerry, that point was to Brian Jellick saying, thanks, mate, great work.
Hello, Blackall. To everybody, hello to everybody in the country areas. I'm sure, I know that you really enjoy your Queensland Cup coverage. I was actually speaking to one of the members of the crowd here before the game started, who said he was in Burke in northwestern New South Wales last week, and they enjoy it every week. So hello to everybody in northern New South Wales and right throughout Queensland. This is the big one, the decider, and with Redcliffe scoring that try, suddenly we've got a terrific grand final on our hands. And the look of concern there, Tony Gray with the shaven head, and Shane O'Flanagan there on the right, and Ryan Dagwell from the Burleigh Bears as Justin Mackay lines this conversion up. Currently 6-4 in favour of Burleigh.
They're paying the price, Jerry, aren't they, for errors inside their own territory. If you keep giving Redcliffe opportunities at this end of the park, they're going to make you pay. Redcliffe haven't had a good retention record themselves, and they've just been allowed back into this to a certain extent. Mackay endeavouring to square it up. Start this slightly to the left. The breeze is quite strong. He hits it perfectly. They've got a tied up ball game, 6-all.
Outstanding football here from Redcliffe. Great work from Jellick and Barba. Barba just threaded the needle. He had the line and went straight through. And here's Jellick, who really gets it moving as he served up the pass. Nice pass from Perry, away from Hutchinson. Starts to get away from Allen, draws him to him. Just back on the inside. Allen had to change direction. Tried to cover Barba, couldn't do it. And Barba just skipped through. He has been fired up today. Came out on the field very excited, Aaron Barba. He always looked pumped up, and he's been in everything one way or the other.
Burleigh find themselves kicking off, and who should be underneath it but Aaron Barba. He's just everywhere, and it looks like Troy Lindsay is on for the Dolphins, playing in yet another grand final. Great to see him out there. His 6th grand final, Troy Lindsay. What a record that is. Grant Flood, and it's across his own 20.
Great effort for Troy Lindsay too, because he didn't play last week. He's had, I think, a knee injury. So he's obviously done some good work in the last couple of weeks to get himself out there.
Andrew Wynyard is also on, so Neil Wharton's starting to use the bench. We're exactly halfway through the first half. Troy Lindsay still short of the halfway, and that was the 5th tackle, so they can use the 40-metre line. And it's a big kick from Shane Perry, but it's going to roll into touch-in goal. So it'll be Burleigh's ball on the 20.
Huge kick from Perry again. They've got the advantage of the breeze, Redcliffe. Perry was somewhat rushed in his kick. Couldn't quite get the angle on he was after. Try and get that 40-20.
In this heat, I'm sure they would have had a drinks break, but for that try being scored around the 20-minute mark, so they're able to fill up with water there and keep on going.
Complaint from Redcliffe. They thought a player was offside, but the tap had already been taken, and therefore the fact the player ran past Dagwell didn't really matter. Barrett in to play it. Stan Berryman comes down the blind side, changes direction. Defence gets him Andrew Wynyard, one who's finally finished him off. Out of dummy half, Dagwell up over the halfway line. Gundry fulfills the dummy half role to Brent McConnell from inside his own half. Awkward kick, and it's going to go, even though against the breeze, it's still going to go dead.
Unfortunately for McConnell there, the ball really rolled once it hit the ground. Otherwise, it did look like the breeze was holding it up, and it looked like a pretty good kick. But once it hit the ground, it just kept rolling across the dead ball line.
Andrew Wynyard now to work it out of his own territory. Jason Campbell to Troy Lindsay. He's done some work since he's been on.
Give in on the blind here.
Danny Burke's the first receiver. I don't mind stacking the blind, Redcliffe, nor do Burleigh, I should add. Well, Campbell trying to milk a penalty here. That used to work about 5 years ago, Jason. Not anymore. Good little half break. I think Wynyard could play the ball to up to Perry. He gave him a little bit of room to move. Fires the pass over the top. Can't be taken by Schulbach. Gone forward as well. So the scrum will pack, and Burleigh with a chance to get a bit of attack ball.
Good acceleration there from Shane Perry. The game had just come to a stop. They didn't make much ground in the first couple of tackles, but he got his hands on the ball and accelerated to the line. Gave them some thrust. Unfortunately, the pass out to the winger just didn't find its mark.
Just wait there, Brenny.
23 minutes gone in the grand final, and it's 6-all, nothing between them. Stan Berryman breaking from the scrum. 4-8 from halfway. The ball almost lost there by Asiri Lang, but a great run. Tremendous run, taking it 15 metres into Redcliffe's territory, and they'll keep it going. Ryan Dagwell, Tony Gray's knocked on, lost forward. Gundry makes sure that they at least pick up the ball, but it'll be a Redcliffe scrum, and the mistakes coming a little bit too frequently now for Burleigh.
Yeah, been a game of a couple of missed opportunities, really. Nothing wrong with the pass. Tony Gray just not concentrating at that critical moment. And they had some extras there too. If they could have put it through their hands, they had an extra man.
Drop ball like that is a sign that you're worried about being hit hard, and there have been some bruising tackles out there from both teams.
Roberts to feed it up to Perry, wide pass. They want to try and make a bit of use of the extra territory, as they did from the scrum a little bit earlier when they scored. But Dean Allen closes that one out pretty quickly, and Justin McKay in a bit of trouble as well. Flood go down the blind side up to Richters. Beautiful outside in defence by Asiri Lang. That's the Canterbury Bankstown style of defence that they've been exploiting and using this year. Danny Burke up the middle. They do like to come from outside in and close it out. In exposure a little bit on the fringes though. Campbell fires up the Perry. Crunch. Talk about outside in and up and under.
Jeremy Latia that time.
Dustin McKay is recovered back on the inside. Andrew Wynyard to Perry. Perry puts the kick up. They're all on side. Trent Purdon, he's going to be in the field of play when he takes it. And is he? No, he's going to be in the in-goal area when he finishes. That is called the perfect kick these days. Put it up, bring it down about a metre before the try line. Driving defence. We go back and start with the goal line dropout.
There was a Burleigh injury here in that big tackle in which Latio was involved. Harridan was there too. Matt Harridan off the bench, number 15, and he's in trouble. He's down and they're calling for assistance.
That was a great tackle by Damien Richters, driving at Trent Purdon, and Purdon couldn't do a thing about it. He had to keep his eye on the ball and receive it. He did everything right, Trent Purdon, but it was that follow through by Richters and the driving tackle to force Purdon across that in-goal, into the in-goal area. And there's some treatment would appear on Aaron Barba as well.
Looks like the trainer's practicing the grapple hold.
Just while this breaks on, I was just thinking of Luke Scott, who captained Redcliffe to their grand final win last year, and they won the A grade, by the way, by 19 points to 6, and they also won the Colts as well, 24-20 over Norths. But Luke Scott, unfortunately, unable to be a part of the Redcliffe team this year, lost his dad, Bert Scott, who was a terrific rugby league player in his own right, and I'm sure that Luke will be well and truly with his teammates here in spirit as they take on another grand final. Aaron Barba takes it. Troy Lindsay up just short of the 30-metre line. In a dummy half goes Matt Anderton, who's on now for the Dolphins. Shane Perry away then to Andrew Wynyard, but the defence of Burleigh strong and efficient. Afagaffa is on for Burleigh as well as Perry holds up the pass, but then it's put down on the far side by Grant Flood, and Burleigh come up with possession through a Siri Lane. Lane plays it now, back inside to Afagaffa, and he makes it almost to the halfway. Good run by Afagaffa. Ryan Daggle's a dummy half. Flanagan puts it down. Another knock on from the Bears.
Yeah, not a good pass though, that one from the dummy half. It forced the big man to reach low and try and grab it. Just out in front of him, just at knee level. It's going to be tough for him. And Flanagan copped a pretty heavy knock as well. Errors, well, neither coach would be happy with the 7-6 there.
Now, go, Mick.
Both sides, as I say, missed opportunities. Little kick through here for the flying Aaron Barba. Dimitri Pello's no slouch either. Who gets the bounce? Aaron Barba! Aaron Barba, number 2. What a try-scoring machine. Beautiful kick from Shane Perry. Well, that's really caught them unawares. Number 2.
He's telling Pello all about it. 2 tries against you, Dimitri.
Well, Dimitri's heading off to the NRL next year as well. But Barba's saying, well, I've got 2 up. You've got a couple to catch me yet, son. What a beautiful bounce, but he had to be there. On the spot, Barba chased through and snatched it.
It was, it's always a gamble unless you've got real faith in your speedster winger. And why wouldn't you have faith in a man who can score 32 tries in a season? And add to that his 28 from last year. What a great winger he is. And it was a beautifully timed kick as well by Shane Perry. But remember, it was straight from a scrum. So it was, they hadn't even had the first tackle. And Perry decided, no, we'll put one up for Aaron and see if he can follow it through. And it was obvious that Barba did have more speed than Pello. It was a real race between the two. And as David said, certainly the bounce favoured Pello and favoured Barba, but Barba was travelling that little bit more quickly, and that helped. Justin Mackay then with the conversion from in front. He's kicked his first, which was also in front, which was also a Barba try, and he's kicked the second, and it's 12-6 in favour of Redcliffe.
2 tries from scrums to Redcliffe after Burleigh have dropped the ball. They've capitalised from the scrum. The first, well, of course, both to Barba. The first off the pass from Jellick. This time it's Perry with the kick downfield. Pello looked as if he had it covered. He was just wondering, is it going to bounce left, right? I've got it covered, but Barba's just flying through. Barba never hesitated. He just kept on coming, hoping for the bounce, and it went straight into his arms.
Beautiful kick too from Shane Perry. Takes a lot of skill just to knock it down there. Had the breeze behind him. And little chip over the top, and he wants it to bounce up. He got exactly what he was after. And Redcliffe, after being on the back foot for a fair portion of this match, have taken advantage of a couple of mistakes from Burleigh. And they've got the lead now by 12 points to 6. Matty Adden out of dummy half. Up to Troy Lindsay, working this right-hand side. Burleigh, as we say, this is only their second game in a month because of the a couple of games that they've got through. That's been knocked down. It'll be play on and 6 to go. It has been played at. So Redcliffe will get another chance to work it out of their own territory. Flood over the 30. Bonus to get another 6. Work it out of there. Edward Wynyard comes back across the ruck and good bumping action to get rid of McConnell initially. Matty Anderton looks down the left but decides to come right.
Good tackle, Alan.
Yeah, they do come up and at you, Warren, don't they?
Well, they come up quick, but then you've got to make the tackle. It's easy to be stepped, but Alan grabbed him. And there it is again, Hutchinson up and in, crunch.
Yeah, they do like to be very aggressive in attack and in their defence, but Redcliffe, they're in front. Good quick play the ball by Daniel Green up to Perry. Hoists it into the air. It'll be a tricky one again. Asiri Lang puts his hand up to try and block the sun, but he's going to have to hope for a good bounce here. He's taken it in a touch. It'll be a goal line dropout. So some great kicking from Shane Perry.
And some great kick chases from Redcliffe. They followed that through, and Asiri Lang, after watching it bounce, suddenly got into a bit of trouble. And the goal line dropout as a result.
Yeah, Asiri Lang he was hoping that it was going to bounce dead. He didn't feel comfortable getting under it on the full, which probably he should have, but into that sun made it a bit more awkward. Hoping it was going to bounce dead, but then was in all sorts of trouble.
10 minutes to go.
Oh, he's
offside.
He's kicked in front of the line.
Yeah,
he's got him for offside, I think.
Oh, might be an offside player, is it?
Yeah, offside, and it'll be a kick now, a penalty right in front, 10 metres out.
And he's going for goal.
Well, that's a lack of concentration. Warren said there was certainly a kick from in front of the line, but he wasn't being that pedantic, but certainly one of the players in front of the kicker, and that is just crazy.
Well, yeah, it's a tough penalty, but if he's in front of the kicker, he should know better. And you would hope at least that he was clearly in front of the kicker, because a lot of the time you would get away with that. And why wouldn't that Redcliffe supporter be pretty happy about the turnaround? Down 6-0 after just a few seconds of the game, and now they're right back on top.
Just absolute gift 2 points here for Justin Mackay. That'll give them a 8-point buffer. They're still around about 8 minutes up to half time. There it is. Scoreline now 14 points to 6.
Yeah, well, look, the drop ball from Burleigh has really been the problem. But let's have another look. Let's see who's in front. Yeah, well, look, you can see too wide. There is someone well in front of that kick by the look of it.
Yeah, that's just lack of concentration there from Burleigh.
And you can't argue with that penalty.
Well, it's a costly one for Burleigh. Another 2 points. An 8-point margin for Redcliffe, and being a grand final, it'll be a battle all the way. I think there might be a battle on in the crowd already right now. Michael Roberts with the offload to Lindsay. As Redcliffe take it out again.
We had trouble, sorry Jerry, had trouble in the crowd last year down here, but at least they've got some police right on the spot today to quell it.
Held to, come back 10. Hold that.
Daniel Green playing the ball inside his own 30. Michael Roberts now trying to duck under the tackle. But it's effective defence. Jeremy Latillo was around his legs. Anderton offloads. Perry turning it back inside to Flood. Redcliffe will want to have a handy break at half-time because they'll know that Burleigh will have the use of the breeze. That's an attempt at 40-20. There's a fair chance here, but Asiri Lang this time is able to get back to it. Trent Purdon was there ready for support if he needed it, but he quite wisely took the tackle. Reggie Cressbrook. The Burleigh Bears, what an amazing start to the game with a try in the opening moments as it's carted forward here by Adam Cook.
Perry's kicking game is starting to cause real problems for Burleigh. He's using the wind well, he's pegging them back, he's running them around, and it was his last kick which got away from Asiri Lang, led to that dropout and the penalty against them.
And now Ryan Gundry has to hurry his kick, and it's out on the full. Out on the full, and Ryan Gundry not too pleased with himself. That means, of course, that the Dolphins have a scrum feed 40 metres out from the Burleigh line.
Yeah, this is self-destruct here from Burleigh. Good pressure, though, from Redcliffe to not allow Gundry the time to accurately align that kick. Another chance now for the Dolphins. Well, they've, as Warren said, they've scored their 2 tries from the base of the scrum. Let's see if they can pull out another favourite move. Roberts runs it to Jellick. well, almost stands in the tank. He does stand. Pops out the back to Roberts. Roberts can't get through. Addy Anderton. Back to Anderton again. Very Burleigh defence up quickly to make sure they shut down the second phase play. Wynyard up there to Troy Lindsay. Inside the 30 now. Anderton. Perry. Long pass. Could be beautifully taken by Jellick, but pressure from Pello again. That outside in defence, not allowing Jellick a clear passage, and some strong defence by Pello to force the error.
Yeah, he was outnumbered, Pello. It was 2-1, so he came up and got to Jellick, just hurried him and caused the mistake.
Now, can Burleigh finally get a little bit of attack ball? They're going to get inside the opponent's territory. Purdon tries to steal down a blind side. They've had little attack ball for the last 20 minutes. Harridan up the middle. Good settler. Referee beckoning Redcliffe back for the 10. Gundry up to McConnell. Second man play out to the big fellow in Adam Cook. Adam Cook with a little bit of room to move. Good cover defence at the end to bring him down. Out of dummy half, Gray up there to McConnell. Little grubber kick into the in-goal area. Mackay beautifully positioned again. Second time he's been called on almost exactly in that area of the field to cover a grubber kick.
Hasn't he played well, Mackay? He's made a couple of good tackles. He's been right in position every time against the kick.
Phil Shilbach hasn't seen much of the ball. He took it forward there a short time ago. Daniel Green. 25 out from their own line. Andrew Wynyard now for Redcliffe. The defence of Burleigh coming in their numbers and shut him down. Matt Anderton flicking away at Jones. Good run by Ben Jones. And that's the halfway mark. He almost made it to it. Can Redcliffe add to the 8-point advantage that they have at the moment? That's a good kick as well by Perry. And it's into 40-20, is it or not?
No, he was outside.
But it was still a ripper.
Oh, what a kick by Perry. That came off the outside of the boot there. He's actually been lined down the middle of the field, and he puts this off the outside of the boot and causes it to have that acute action. And that is just great skills, that, from Perry. It's been a fantastic kicking display by Shane Perry in this first half.
He had every opportunity there to find that line because Pello was still up in the defensive line, even though it was the last tackle. He hadn't dropped back, so the opportunity was there.
Siri Lang. Trent Purdon in a dummy half. Purdon shows a bit of pace, but he's soon locked up there. Shane Perry was one of them. Keeping it going on the right now, Adam Cook made a good break a short time ago, trying to keep it alive, but it's kept alive okay for Redcliffe. Suddenly they're playing the ball 30 metres out. Phil Shilbach, across field goes Shilbach. 20 short of the line. They need a dummy half, and it's sent away to Anderton. Now Roberts, Michael Roberts, still favouring that right hand, even though, or the left hand rather. Back inside to Troy Lindsay, 15 metres out. Lindsay caught by Affagaffa, and also Harridan. Flung away now to Perry. Perry, will he kick? No, keeps it alive. Back to Mackay. Nicely across then to Damien Richters, but he's all bottled up by a Siri Lang. Played now to Shilbach. Back it goes now to Perry. Perry, great tackle on him by Dean Allen, but Roberts has a chance. Nice kick into the in-goal. It's going to roll across the dead ball line.
Well, good passage of football, that. There was some good build-up from Redcliffe, but some very good defence from Burleigh. Eventually, Roberts having to put that little rubber in behind, but he was still under pressure all the way.
It wasn't a good kick in the end from Roberts, but it was good scrambling defence from Burleigh, and it had to be. I don't know what their completion rate has dropped to, but from 7 out of 10 at about the 15-minute mark, it must be atrocious now.
Yeah, it would not be good.
And there it is. What do we got? Burleigh 11 out of 19 now. Redcliffe, not a whole lot better, 14 out of 22, but they've been improving, whereas Burleigh are going backwards.
As you said, Warren, there's been some strong defence from both sides. Redcliffe aren't afraid to come up and hit you in the face as well. Not literally speaking, of course, but they do like to come up and really put some pressure on. Up there to McConnell. Now he's kicked, well, it wasn't even on the 5th tackle, and not only that, he's put it straight to Justin Mackay. So Burleigh off their game. Well and truly off their game at the moment. Redcliffe with a chance to put a bit more on right up on half-time. Critical minutes up to half-time now. A minute and a half. Can Redcliffe extend this lead with the breeze at their back? Richters. Slow play the ball. Anderton uses the blind side, tries up there to plug. Purdon seemed to hurt his shoulder a little bit earlier. Okay now. Troy Lindsay for a settler. Great position to put your attack on. Fifth and last tackle. See what play they've got this time. Up to Perry, thinking about a field goal. Can't hit it right. Well, the perfect kicking display has been blotted somewhat. But Perry thinking all the time. Well, maybe 1 point with a minute to go.
Yes, and on the last tackle too. Would have given them a handy break. At 14-6, Burleigh, knowing that they'll have the breeze in the second half, but the breeze is going to be absolutely no use to them if they don't pick up the game, because they've been making just too many errors after starting magnificently. And here's a good run by Reggie Cressbrook. He's the one who started it in spectacular fashion with the try in the opening moments of the game. Ryan Dagwell just short of the halfway. Can Burleigh go 50 metres and score a try before the full-time hooter goes in about 20 seconds? Purdon showing it back inside to Afagafford, kept alive to Trent Purdon.
Back to me! Back to me!
Maybe one more play before the half-time hooter goes. McConnell the long pass. Ryan Gundry stepping away from Roberts. Back to McConnell. McConnell across the 30. He'll take the tackle. Afagafford suddenly told, get in there, but Dean Allen arrives in time. Ryan Gundry puts it high, but it's not going forward. The wind's taken backwards and out on the full. Not out on the full. Cut back inside. They're going to play because Barba will go all the way. Purdon tries to get to him. Barba inside Purdon. Inside him again. Keeps going and scores. Aaron Barba. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. 3 tries in the grand final. And that one, a key try just before the half-time break.
Well, that's really rubbing into your opposite number. Dimitri Pello, knowing it was only seconds up to half-time, thought he'd try and knock it back in field and keep it alive. And all he's succeeded in doing is getting it back in the hands of the Dolphins. The kick was not a particularly good one. Finally, after the loose ball knocked back on the inside, Aaron Barba, have a look at this. He turns Trent Purdon inside out. As soon as Purdon was then running in the same direction, he had him beat. You just wait your time. Purdon was in big trouble as soon as he was looking back over his shoulder, running in the same direction as Aaron Barba. Hat-trick of tries, 3 fingers in the air to the crowd. What a performance by this flyer on the right wing. And Redcliffe, well, they've got the substantial lead right on half-time from, well, we had the half start with an amazing try. We just had it finish with another amazing try.
And who needs a field goal when you can get a converted try? Why take one when you can have 6? They missed the 1, but they've got the 6. And the half-time hooter has gone. Redcliffe leading by 14 points at half-time in the grand final. Burleigh will have the use of the breeze in the second half. They'll also have the use, one would imagine, of a bit of a serve from their coach, Rick Stone. But at half-time, it's Redcliffe 20, Burleigh 6. We'll be back shortly with the highlights of that first half of the grand final.
In just one night,
is he hurt?
Yes, love, we just don't know how badly.
Their lives have changed.
Brian, you gonna wake up now, love?
Now the Addis family need to stick together.
Market Gardener of the Year.
I reckon we should go all out to win it for Dad.
But this could be one challenge
It's got the lettuces.
that may get the better of them.
I'm messing everything up.
Down to Earth, 7:30 tonight.
Into the wilderness.
I can't believe he's in the water with that crocodile.
Explore the world in the comfort of your own home. Pilot Guides, 6 o'clock Sunday. Tell everyone, David Attenborough's back with brand new episodes. He continues the fascinating journey into the amazing world of mammals.
An ability to climb is important for a meerkat on sentry duty. They still carry nails, vestiges of their terrestrial past.
The Life of Mammals, coming soon to ABC.
Was it an accident or murder?
Oh, right.
Scan the civvies, get upstairs, section briefing in 6 minutes.
Sir.
Now it's time to get McDonough back on the case.
The way things are going, we'll just have to wait till the smoke clears. See who's dead, who's alive.
Scary, isn't she? Our own little pit bull.
Red Cap, 8:30 Friday, ABC.
Well, Redcliffe will be wrapped in that scoreline at half-time, 20 points to 6 in front, especially after conceding that first amazing try.
Just an amazing game of football, David. A game, I suppose you say, Burleigh were on top for the first 15 minutes and it's been all Redcliffe for the last 25. That first try to Burleigh, but from that point, and they made another couple of breaks which they couldn't turn into tries and probably should have. Then their handling dropped right off and Redcliffe started to get a bit of confidence in their own game. Perry's kicking started to worry Burleigh. 2 tries from scrums. And 3 tries all up for Aaron Barba, who's just been magical. An incredible game of football. The defence from Burleigh has been quite bruising. They've been up and worrying Redcliffe, but their handling's letting them down so badly. They're just not in the game.
Yeah, they certainly haven't played well, Burleigh, but they got one of the most amazing starts to a grand final I've ever seen. Second tackle of the match. Redcliffe decided to move it out into their back line there. Only got there about 10 metres off the try line, and Reggie Cressbrook straight through to snatch it out of the air. The game was about 30 seconds old at that stage, and Burleigh got first points.
Not even 30, I don't think, David. Look, they came up and made a big tackle. Hutchinson crunched Redcliffe, and Redcliffe decided to get away from the action in close, throw it out wide, but the pass intended to go to Perry from Barba was intercepted by Cressbrook. Instant celebrations. Cressbrook came up expecting to make a tackle there. Instead, he's got the ball and he's over the line.
Yeah, amazing start there for the Burleigh Bears, but they haven't had much success since then. They dropped a lot of ball, and then finally Redcliffe in about the 20-minute mark from another one of those drop balls. They packed a scrum, and they're always very dangerous, Redcliffe. They've got a number of plays they can work. This one fairly simple. Up there to Perry, and then a little short pass up to Jellick to put him in a bit of a half gap. He does well to get right in behind the defensive line, and then Aaron Barba, just not much room to move there, and he finally threads his way through to get his first try.
Well, this came right off the back of one of the many Burleigh mistakes that crept into their game, and it's lovely work, isn't it? Perry, just a short pass, puts Jellick through, gets inside Hutchison, away from him, draws a couple of players to him out wide, back inside the flying Aaron Barba, gets away from the grasping Dean Allen, who tried to recover and just wasn't to be, and Barba in for his first try, and because he's celebrating, and they're pointing to Dimitri Pello. They'd had a bit of a Barney early on, those two, and since then Barba's been letting both Pello and the crowd know all about it.
Yeah, I think Barba's in front, I think.
I think so. It's a knockout.
Yeah. Let's have a look at stats from the first half, and we'll just see how basically the Burleigh boys have self-destructed. They have not been as strong as what they should have been, certainly in the possession department.
Look, let's go straight to those completion rates. Early on, Burleigh had completed 7 out of 10, so they've now they're going at 50%, if that, since then. 13 out of 21. The completion rate has not been good enough for Burleigh. It's improving for the Dolphins. Early on, they were only at 50%, 4 out of 8, but now they're up to 16 out of 24. So they're improving, as it's turned out, with those couple of tries and getting the ball back. Possession now flooding Redcliffe's way at 60%. Penalties just 2-1 in favour of the Dolphins. In their own half, Burleigh starting to spend more and more time down defending their own 20-metre area. They've been forced to make more tackles, 152 to 121. On a hot day, it's taking the juice out of them. They've missed 15 tackles to 12. The line breaks are even, but in the case of Burleigh early on, they just didn't turn those breaks into tries.
No, they couldn't go on with the job. Redcliffe could, though, because it came from another error from Burleigh. A scrum packed a fair way out, and Shane Perry has put in one of the best kicking performances we've seen in a grand final in the Queensland Cup. Perfectly placed kick this. The Dimitri Pello has to turn and chase. Have a look at the flying Aaron Barba. He wasn't going to wait. He was just going to take his chances and attack the football. He does that, and that was his second.
Yeah, I felt a bit sorry for Dimitri Pello there. He must be aware of the speed of Aaron Barba, but he's coming back covering that kick. He did have the jump. He was going to be first to the ball, but he just hesitated because he didn't know which way it was going to bounce. He's got it covered, but the speed of Barba, who's got nothing to lose, he just comes flying through, goes straight for the ball. It bounces right, straight into the arms of Barba, away from Pello, and in he goes, celebrates that second try. And 2 tries from the scrums, and suddenly Redcliffe are out to 12-6.
Yeah, well, that was quite an amazing performance by Redcliffe. When you think of it, we had a freakish try in the first minute of the first half, and then with Burleigh trying their best to try and put some attack on late in the game, seconds remaining, awkward kick, and Dimitri Pello, well, he thought he was probably doing the right thing, knocks the ball back on the inside to try and keep it alive. Gundry hoists it high in the air, and Dimitri Pello here, he tries to just tap it back in field. Instead, Redcliffe get a hold of it. The ball falls fortuitously for Aaron Barba, and then he has to contend with Trent Purdon. And as soon as he turned him inside out there, he knew he had him at his mercy. And Aaron Barba, number 3, in the dying seconds of the first half.
Yeah, 2 bad kicks from Gundry, went near to the touchline, and Pello there, look, the mistake he made was not to be in control of the ball. Anything could happen once it went back inside, and he must be aware of the danger of this guy, Aaron Barba, and this is incredible. He gets in behind and hides behind his opponent there at fullback, gets in behind Purdon, he doesn't know where he is, and then uses that acceleration to shoot away from him. Purdon left grasping at air, and that's an incredible performance by Aaron Barba. 3 tries already in a grand final. He did a little dance after this, which just showed how he'd been dancing in and around behind the fullback. He's having the whale of a game.
He's having a great game. Warren, of course, a lot of talk about whether the week off is good or bad. I mean, Burleigh looked to be a bit rusty to me. They're going to have to hope they've got the rust out in the first half and they can click in the second.
They will have the breeze at their back, which might give them a bit more oomph in the second half. I don't think there's been much rust in their defence. Their defence has been very aggressive and made a lot of good tackles.
Caused a bit of corrosion in the...
Yes, but their handling has just been incredible. They've lost the ball on a number of times early in the tackle count. Sometimes just simple drop balls when it's on the chest. That's not good enough.
Yeah, no excuse for that, and Burleigh will want to improve in the second half if they're going to get back into this match. We'll be back in a moment with the second half of the grand final.
Bet you can't wait for more shameful shenanigans of the rich and gruesome.
It's time to get reacquainted with the Braithwaites.
Awesome. Get out of my house!
Things have got a little more complicated since we last met.
We're getting married.
But they're learning to take it all in their stride.
I've never had so much fun.
Makes your family look normal, doesn't it?
At Home with the Braithwaites, 9:30 Friday, ABC.
They're a couple in love.
I hate you, Britt.
They're a couple newly reconciled.
Britt and me have decided we want solid monogamy.
And they're about to face their biggest challenge.
We're renovating.
Will there be room for improvement?
Oh, and another thing, that table's got to go.
It's grandma's.
It's revolting.
Or will someone do their block?
I can't talk to you now, Kim.
What?
Pure domestic bliss.
One word to say to you, Kim. Feng Shui.
All new Kath and Kim, 8:30 Thursday.
About sport.
It is.
You know it makes sense.
When John Lennon and Yoko Ono went to bed for a year, everyone was watching.
We're here as a protest against violence.
It was 1969 and the world was in turmoil when John's cheeky plan unleashed a wave of love power.
Convert your parents.
Tonight, take a look back at an extraordinary time and the Beatle who danced to his own beat to give peace a chance. Famous Faces, 9:30 tonight.
Welcome back to Dolphin Oval, the grand final of the Queensland Cup. And it's Redcliffe leading Burleigh by 20 points to 6. Burleigh will have the use of the breeze in the second half. But a vital try just before half-time gave the Dolphins, and that fan there, a big thrill. And there are lots of Dolphin fans, well and truly. There are quite a few Burleigh fans too, watching the Bears in action. And after the Bears finished as the minor premiers, they essentially are the home team here today. And tomorrow we've got live rugby union, the Queensland Premier Rugby preliminary final. And it's University against the Gold Coast. The winner will go through and play the grand final tomorrow week. So 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and of course already in the grand final are the Canberra Vikings. So the winner of that game between Uni and the Gold Coast will play the Canberra Vikings in the Premier Rugby Grand Final, and that is live on ABC television as well. So you get it all here. We've even got the semi-final of Queensland netball coming up after this grand final here. And now the Redcliffe Dolphins come out for the second half. They'd be pretty pleased with the way they finished that first half. Indeed, the way they played most of the first half. They started slowly. They had that try scored against them in the opening moments of the game. But after that, they settled into the grand final. And the Burleigh Bears, after starting hot, went off the boil. And you wonder how they'll play their second half. There's Michael Roberts. There's the injured hand, still strapped.
Interesting, Jerry, there really hasn't been a traditional or standard try yet. No try yet has been scored by just running at a defensive line. You've had two from the scrum, one a run away and the other one an intercept. So neither side has really gone about building pressure and cracking the defensive line near the try line. So both sides need to settle in a bit more to their patterns. Redcliffe have the bonus of a substantial lead. I don't believe Burleigh can play as badly as what they did in the first half. They know the whole season is on the line, and I'll be very surprised if they don't improve their performance dramatically in this second half.
Redcliffe kicking off. There he is, Aaron Barba. 3 tries in the first half of the grand final. How many will he have by the end of it? And 33 for the year. He's already picked up the award for the most try scorers in the Queensland Cup this year. His official figure in the premiership competition itself was 28. There goes the kickoff. McConnell picking it up. Adam Cook takes it forward. Burleigh. It's important that they start putting sets of 6 together. Holding on to the ball. Taking it forward there is Matt Purdon. Caught just outside his own 20. Still keeping on a short side there. Jeremy Latio is very close to the touchline, but he manages to stay in the field of play. Back inside for Dean Allen, the captain. I'm sure he'd be keen for them to go much better in this second half. They look composed in the opening stages. They can use the breeze, but Ryan Gundry kicks from outside the 40, and it's been touched in flight, taken by Roberts. Down on the sideline, the Redcliffe coach, Neil Wharton, is with Warren Boland.
Neil, a nightmare start, but it's a distant memory now.
Yes, it wasn't a good start, but, you know, we practice for that and we train for it, and it's part of our game, so I don't have a problem with the boys executing it. They showed courage, and, you know, they've got heaps of that.
Practice to move the ball away from that close-in area?
Yeah, well, it's something that we tried a number of weeks ago, and a number of things that you hope to use on grand final day. You practice beforehand, and, you know, it's got some rewards in the past, so, you know, they're confident.
Were they nervous early?
Well, I think anyone would be, wouldn't they? You know, it's sort of enormous pressure for being on the grand final in your home here, and here we go again. So, yeah, no, they were a bit nervous.
And there's a knock on. There should be a scrum from that. Aaron Barba, 3 magical tries. He's an incredible footballer. You don't score 33 tries by accident, do you?
No, he's very quick, isn't he? You know, and I was just pleased, like the last couple of weeks, he's been running down the sideline, and you know, he had some quick players coming against him, and he just set himself up like a pigeon to be hit. I was pleased that he did the move on Purdon in the last one.
What did you say to them at half-time?
We'll keep the ball off them. I think if we can keep the ball off them and, you know, really chew them up, they're going to struggle. But, you know, that's the same for both sides, I think. So it's imperative that we keep the ball off them. It's imperative that we keep going at them. And we have 4 10-minute segments to complete, and we've got to win 3 of them.
OK, we'll let you go. Thank
you very much.
Neil Wharton, interestingly, bringing the grand final down to lots of 10 minutes as it's carted forward by Matt Anderton, and they're only 10 metres away from the line. Maybe they can score again. Nicely picked up there too by Daniel Green. Kept alive Roberts. Still on that 10-metre line. Green's the dummy half. They've got numbers on the left, and that's where they're going to. Perry, beautiful pass for Richters, but he's sandwiched. Asiri Lang was one of the tacklers as it goes back inside, and that's an interesting kick across field by Perry, but well taken by Pello, but he's lost it. Knock on. It's a Redcliffe scrum again, just 5 metres out from the line.
Well, you've got to feel sorry for Dimitri Pello there. He initially had that ball under pressure as well. Was there an arm that grabbed it away from him? No. He had it, albeit was trapped against one leg. Couldn't control it, so more pressure for Burleigh. Redcliffe started with 2 quick tries in the second half last week. They look like they're on the verge of doing the same again. At least one of those. Up there to Perry. They'll need some pretty good defence here. Burleigh, as Perry steps through one. Affagaffa finally gets to him. Only 5 metres out. One little mistake and you're gone here. Daniel Green puts his head down. Just stopped only a half a metre short.
Matty Ennan in a dummy half. Fires the long pass out to Roberts. Good chance that they get it on the outside. Good defence again, though, from Burleigh. Roberts to play it. They're back intact again. Out of dummy half. I think that's Wynyard. He does well to keep it alive to Perry. Perry throws a dummy, turns back on the inside to Mackay. Mackay breaks that first tackle. Gets away from the TO. Can't get away from the last line of defence though. Hutchison, they run down a blind side. Ben Jones goes himself. Jones looks at the try line. Can't get it down. Driven back. Desperate defence by Burleigh. Fifth tackle. In goal play will do them to Roberts. Awkward play it was for Roberts. He's put it across the in goal there. Beautiful kick, Michael Roberts. When you put it across field like that, as you can see, the ball can just sit there for ages as it rolls cross field, and it's always going to cause a problem for the defence.
Purdon just had to pick that ball up, and so that means that Redcliffe get it back down on the sideline. Mark G from the Burleigh Bears is with Warren.
Yes, Mark's the assistant coach to Rick Stone. Mark, look, it just seems to be all unravelling after a good 15 minutes. It's all gone pear-shaped.
Yeah, no, we were pretty happy with the start of the game. Obviously, try in the early minutes there got us on the right foot, but we realised we self-destructed a bit there towards the end of that first half.
Why did the handling drop off so badly?
I think it was a fair bit of defence we had to do because of the errors. They've had a pretty good kicking game, which has turned us around in the first half. Had a bit of a breeze at their back, so obviously the conditions today are fairly hot. And
well, we've still got a long way to go. The first try is very important here.
Obviously, that's what we talked about at half-time. If we score the first try, 8 down, with 10 or 15 to go, we know that we're a good chance of winning this game at the back end.
What else was said at half-time?
Oh, we obviously just addressed our handling errors. As many handling errors as we did make, our defence still only come up with one error. They scored 2 tries from kicks, a couple of long-range tries, so we weren't too disappointed with that area.
You've got to improve the kicking too.
Our kicking game's been poor. It's been the difference between the two sides. Our kicking game's been enormous, and we're hoping to improve in that area, obviously.
Let's talk about one positive. The defence has still been strong.
Our defence has been the catalyst for why we're in the position we're in at the moment, Warren, all year. We worked pretty hard on that, and, as I said, it's just our execution with the ball that's letting us down at this stage.
And there's one, a forward pass by the look of it. Just one more question. Who's going to get you out of this in attack? Who's going to be the person to take it to Redcliffe?
Well, all year we've obviously our speed men out wide, Reggie Cressbrook, Trent Purdon, Siri Lang, those sort of guys, but we need to lay the foundations in tight first. We realise that, and hopefully get them around the ruck out late in the game.
All right, thanks for joining us, Keith.
Thanks, Warren.
I should say Mark, the brother of Andrew and Keith G, assistant coach to Rick Stone at Burleigh.
Thanks, Mark and Warren down there. Caught with the ball, Shane Perry, 8 metres in his own territory. Justin Mackay, the dummy half. This is Jones. Nicely kept alive by Jones. Back to Mackay, but he's lost his footing on the halfway. Redcliffe in possession and now in Burleigh's territory. Troy Lindsay, wouldn't he love to win another one with the Dolphins? A magnificent career he's had with Redcliffe. Matt Anderton showing the ball and still going Anderton. Looking to link up with somebody. Brian Jellick came back inside, but in the end he had to take a dummy. But now Jellick makes a good run. That's the 5th tackle, 20 metres out. Redcliffe with a chance of finishing it off here. Campbell across now. Perry with a kick into the in goal. It's another good one. They'll be forced to do something with this Burleigh. Asiri Lang gets into the field of play and still going. Asiri Lang up the sideline. Crunching hit. And he's... I think he might be nearly knocked senseless, Asiri Lang.
I think it was a head clash.
Redcliffe have come up with the ball and it's play on, 6 to go for Redcliffe. So maybe they can still all right out of this. Grand Flood caught 12 out from the line. Anderton's the dummy half. And a penalty. Asiri Lang holding onto the leg of the tackle player.
They probably just about had to stop the rot there. Burleigh, they're getting very tired.
Bring him.
Let's have another look at this tackle. Shane Perry it was who came across and covered a fence. Might have even been the shoulder. What a crunching effort by Shane Perry on the big man in Asiri Lang.
All right, behave yourself.
Dimitri Pillow getting a lecture.
Just stay here. No.
I think it's Reggie Cressbrook.
It is Reggie, yes.
Settle it down now. We're just playing football.
Redcliffe have got the penalty.
Right? He was holding the legs. Just play football.
Obviously, Dean Allen thinks there's some elbows being used out there.
He's probably referring to that tackle
on Lang.
Yeah, so now Redcliffe Jones stepping beautifully back inside. Oh, if he'd have got the arms free, they had numbers on the right too. And now dashing run by Andrew Wynyard as Redcliffe are just 5 short of the line. Jason Campbell brings it away now to Perry. Lovely cut-out pass, and it's taken, and it is by Richters. Richters for the corner. Not quite there.
Defence.
Superb defence from Burleigh. Phil Shillbox, the dummy half. Now Michael Roberts, across it goes. Perry holding up the pass. Andrew Wynyard back inside. But that's the 6th tackle, I think. Or is it? No, play the ball. Still they keep going. Perry now finds his man, and Richter, Jellick. Brian Jellick has scored on the right-hand side. That might have just about done it for the Dolphins. They've got a handy break now, 24-6.
Great passage of rugby league, some fantastic defence, and finally it was the good Redcliffe attack that got them across the try line. They were in the left-hand corner a little while ago. They stretched it to this far side, and Brian Jellick finally found a chink through this Burleigh wall. This is where they got right over to the far side and then put it back across into the midfield, and then Jellick close enough to the try line. Defenders finally thinned out. Purdon couldn't affect the tackle. That was some really good attack after they went so close to scoring in this left-hand corner. Some great defence, some great attack, and finally the attack wins out.
Redcliffe are really showing that they are big-time performers here, and the Burleigh Bears shell-shocked. They couldn't believe probably the way they started the game. And that time, their defence was spread to the degree that the opening finally came. We heard Mark G say that they were happy with the fact that the only tries that Redcliffe had scored had come from kicks, but that time they were stretched to the left, stretched to the right. And reaching out, Brian Jellick was able to put the ball down for the try. And this is the most difficult kick that Justin Mackay has had for a conversion. Kicking it into the breeze, right into the face of the breeze, actually. It will make it extremely difficult. But what a lead now in a grand final, 24-6. They talk about big enough wins, big enough leads to win a Melbourne Cup. In he moves. Oh, he struck it beautifully. Sensational conversion, and it is 26-6 in favour of Redcliffe.
Great kicking from Justin Mackay. They're important, these conversions, any game, let alone a grand final. But here's Perry hunting across field. But this isn't the actual pass for the try. But Perry knew that they had him on the right-hand side. He knew that they had the numbers, plenty of space, feeds the pass out. Jellick coming at them straight, and just too close to the line. The tackle made by Purdon, but Jellick reaches out and scores. And it all really goes back to the control Redcliffe have shown early in this half. They put the kick into the in goal to get the drop out. Then they put another kick, which is Seri Lang managed to field and bring back out. But once he was crunched, it all turned Redcliffe's way.
Burleigh have just got to get their act into gear. It's an understatement because they certainly haven't been able to do it so far as Redcliffe start to string together a few passes as well. Daniel Green could quick play the ball. Matty Anderson runs out of dummy half. Up there to the try scorer in Jellick. He tries to get the hands free but just can't. Anderson, who's been busy out of dummy half, up to Roberts. Enjoying a little bit of extra freedom now as Burleigh are pretty well out on their feet at the moment. They have to do a lot of defence. Perry cuts back on the inside, buys a lot of time, puts a kick into a little bit of open space, and Purdon gets a hold of it. Well, Burleigh, they're going to have to hope for a miracle. They've got to throw out all out attack, and they've got to hope everything sticks. Dimitri Pello.
But when you say all-out attack, David, I mean, there's still plenty of time. There's just under 30 minutes. They can score 3 converted tries, and that'll get them very close. You know, they've got a lot of work to do, obviously, but they have got the speed men, as Mark G pointed out. Oh, not this way, though.
Look at those tackles. Burleigh have had to execute 214 to Redcliffe's 136.
Yeah, you've got to be out on your feet. Burleigh have built their whole year around this great defensive pattern, but if you surrender possession almost every time you have it, then you're going to put enormous pressure on yourselves. And Burleigh have had really shown nothing in attack today at all. And one of the reasons is they've just never held the ball long enough. And they've just presented it to this side, who just love running the football. Justin Mackay.
David, I think that's what we've seen through this final series. You've got to be at your best, as I said before the game. In the major semi, Redcliffe weren't at their best. Last week, Wynnum weren't at their best. Today, Redcliffe are firing on all cylinders, but Burleigh just aren't.
Yeah, Burleigh haven't turned up today.
maybe it has been the gap. Maybe they haven't had enough football in the last month.
Well, they certainly have had 2 weeks off leading up to this game. Only played 1 game and then had 2 weeks off prior to that. Up to Roberts, to Perry. A little play going here, but he has to run himself. The runners were covered. James. Roberts, 5th and last. He'll go for the in-goal, but nice work from his opposing skipper in Dean Allen. There's where they get a chance their arm a little bit up to Brent McConnell. McConnell brushes away from 1, from 2, gets up over the 20. Can they finally string some passes together? This penalty will help with the aid of the breeze as well. And they'll finally get down inside Redcliffe territory, which will be foreign to them.
And the question is now whether or not Redcliffe, having managed to get a 20-point lead, might just relax a little bit. And if they do, they could let Burleigh back into the game. Adam Cook across the 40-metre line. Well and truly grappled there. Takes him a while to get to his feet too. Shane O'Flanagan. The defence there, Troy Lindsay was one up, and the other one was Trent. Now Brian Gundry flicking a nice pass out wide. Chance here for Purdon, back inside and close to the line. Adam Hutchison is dragged down only a couple of metres short. Pello sends it back inside. McConnell nicely passed back inside there for Berryman. Can't get it down and forced back into the field of play. Burleigh are desperate for a try. Can they score it? Nicely taken there by Reggie Cressbrook. But after scoring the opening try, he can't get another one. That's an interesting kick. They'll fly high for this, but it's over the top of everybody's head and out on the full.
Well, just when they wanted to keep the pressure on, the kick across the breeze, just floating too far. Some promising play there from Burleigh. It was a nice set move they used, the 3rd play off their tap, which sent them on the attack down that far left-hand side. So they've just shown a glimpse of their capability, but at the end of the day, they had to get that restart of the tackle count. They had to keep the pressure on Redcliffe, and they weren't able to do it. Dean Allen in trouble now as he falls away from that tackle. Here he is again, Aaron Barba, dancing around in the middle of the ruck. Matty Endon up to big Shane Tronk. Redcliffe still very professional, very well drilled, just going forward, doing the job. Mackay dances away from the dummy half position. They've used their little men well in the middle to try and take advantage of this tiring Burleigh defence. 5th tackle, Perry looks out to his outside men, knocks it down against the breeze. He's going to force Purdon to try and bring it out of his own territory, and he's going to do exactly that up to Dimitri Pello. He steps out at 1. Gets up over the 15 metres. Well, this is what Burleigh are going to do now. They're going to throw a bit of caution to the wind. They are showing that if a few passes stick, they might be able to get back into this match. I think that was Farron Anderson. Big Adam Cook. Defence coming at him straight away. So Redcliffe not leaving the gate open.
For all that, yeah, Redcliffe doing the right thing. They're playing it down the other end, completing their sets, kicks at the end of them, and another mistake. Right. Well, this is just a rot setting in for Burleigh. How many times have they been caught for forward passes today?
It'd have to be 3 or 4, and you wouldn't normally get 3 or 4 in a season. They're trying the flat ruck plays, which most sides try and employ these days, and that is to take the pass very flat on the advantage line to maximise the 10-metre defensive pattern.
Something's on here, yeah. Aaron Barba and the 2 men on the left were right over it, close to the touchline, so I'm not quite sure what they were playing there. Shilbrock, though, is 15 short of the line. Aaron Barba's the dummy half now. He's involved in everything. Sending the pass back inside there to Danny Burt. Barba, well, Matt Anderson this time gets the dummy half. Perry runs to the defensive line and Trent can't hold the ball. Knock on by Redcliffe. So at least Burleigh will get a scrum. 10 out from their own line, but boy, it's just not happening for them. There, Perry taking the ball to the defensive line and Trent just half an eye on Brett McConnell, who was coming forward to tackle him and couldn't quite take the ball.
He got hit with a shot. Wear it. Out.
So the Burleigh Bears with all the work to do. Got a long way to go as Hutchison plays the ball. Afagaffa, there's a bit of a gap there. Trailing him through was Farron Anderson, and a penalty to Burleigh.
Yeah, flopping second action. The reason Afagaffa made so much territory in the first instance was that Daniel Green, the headgeared guy there, the number 16 for Redcliffe, was called offside. He dropped back. Finally, he was a part of the tackle, but a second tackle coming in has now given Burleigh Just a glimmer. Long way to go. In more ways than one. Long way from the try line. But still enough time if they can just get some points on the board. Big Adam Cook. Oh, look at that. 2/3 almost possession to Redcliffe, and they'll have a field day with that. They are the best attacking side in the comp. And your defence, well, it's just got to give sooner or later. Brent McConnell, look at that quick moving defence from Redcliffe, but they put it in behind her. Stan Berry kicks early. It's going to be covered, I think, here by Justin Mackay. Not only that, he's going to have the time to allow it to run over the dead ball line. Well, I thought Berryman had support on the outside as well. He tried the little grubber kick, but it goes too far.
Stan Berryman is such a dangerous player himself, and we haven't seen the best of him in this grand final either.
What we have seen in the last couple of minutes, when Burleigh hold the ball, they have been able to make a few breaks.
Yeah, and they've got options and they've got speed. There are a lot of things in their favour, but it just hasn't happened for them. Shane Trong. We've got now 21 minutes to go. It's 20-point margin in favour of Redcliffe. And they're looking at another grand final win here. Danny Burke, Matt Anderton from dummy half. Perry goes with him. Shane Perry now always looking for where the support players are. Nicely away there to Daniel Green. And still they keep it alive to Shilwell. Shilwell still going. 15 short, that's the 5th tackle. Damien Richter's the dummy half. Look at the numbers on the right. Perry, away to Trent. Trent, desperate pass. Picked up. It'll be a knock-on. They'll go back and have a look. No, he's not even going to bother doing that. He's seen the knock on, and it'll be a scrum.
There's 4 blokes out wide with their hands above their heads saying, well, why didn't we get it out here, fellows? Trump went through a half gap, couldn't control the pop-up pass, but there were 4 guys out wide and 1 solitary defender. Try was on there, and Redcliffe, who normally exploit any weakness in the defence, it's just didn't quite put the nail in the coffin there. Ryan Gundry.
Good run from Gundry. It needs a quick play the ball, but they're holding him down. Time's the enemy.
Reggie Cressbrook at dummy half up there to Tony Gray. Keeps it alive up to O'Flanagan. He'll keep it alive as well to Berryman. Berryman looks for support, finds it on the outside. He gets Hutchison out there. Looks back on the inside, but again some strong Redcliffe defence. We've applauded the Burleigh defence today in terms of its aggression. The Redcliffe have lacked nothing in that department. Chance here for Reggie Cressbrook. Pass on the outside. Back on the inside. Reggie, no! Couldn't find anybody. He's tackled. He's passed off the ground. Well, Reggie was 5 seconds too late. He thought he could do it himself, and well, he is a try-scoring machine, Reggie Cressbrook, but he just went too far. All the good work undone.
Yeah, McConnell was there, would have been screaming for the ball, and then he caught up and off the ground. An amazing decision to send the pass.
Get a drink of water, India.
And they got a drinks break. So midway through the second half, a 20-point margin in favour of Redcliffe, 26 points to 6, and the players pause for a well-earned drink on a hot day. The day has belonged so far to Redcliffe, and it means that there are 2 of those 10-minute sections left in the game for Burleigh to do something outstanding in attack. And all that Redcliffe do now, they have their 2 10 minutes to defend like crazy, and they'll have that premiership. They're the interchanges. Burleigh have used 8, Redcliffe have used 7.
Well, Neil Wharton, in terms of those 4 lots of 10 minutes in the second half, said his instruction was, you've got to win 3 of those. You win 3, you win the match from a 20 points to 6 half-line score.
Well, they've already won 3, haven't they?
Well, basically 2 in this half,
2.
haven't they? Yep. So now they just want 1 more of these next 2. Now Redcliffe to methodically work it out. Adam Starr is been rotated pretty well by coach Neil Wharton.
Adam, not off the mark. Just stand up where you are.
Green.
If Burleigh had converted some of the breaks they made early in the game, and then the last 5 minutes, there'd be still a chance in this game. Just haven't been able to turn breaks into tries.
They'll rue their chances. Previous play there was Danny Burke, of course. Out of dummy half goes Matty Henry. He's done that well in this second half. Up to Brian Jellick. Good quick play, the ball by Jellick will keep the pressure on. Here's the 5th tackle. Perry to hoist it. He's going to put more pressure on. Well, about 3 of them are going to go for this one. It's been knocked backwards. Was it knocked on by Burleigh?
And then that way.
Knocked on by Redcliffe first.
And then that way.
There's finally a break for the Burleigh Bears, and there'll be a changeover.
Yeah, Richter's went high. He was the first man to touch the ball and spilt it. And then it was knocked on by Burleigh, but Burleigh playing the ball in a Siri Lang. And as Warren said, the clock is the enemy for Burleigh now because it just keeps ticking away. And while they haven't been able to convert those breaks that they made, it's just become more and more difficult for them. And now that good Redcliffe defence pinning them there in their own territory.
Jerry, the quick-moving defence, they're still coming up, Redcliffe.
Very effective. Burleigh need this penalty.
Could be a high shot penalty, I think, too.
Yeah,
pull one of the players out.
Okay, get him down. It's here though.
Now
just get him down.
The offender.
No.
Above the shoulders.
So let's see if Burleigh can take advantage of this, find the line and really attack. And Ryan Gundry has found touch in Redcliffe's territory by about 8 metres. Gundry himself takes the tap. Guarded forward by Latillo. Jeremy Latillo, a good run. He set it up in the middle, 32 out. Flung away now to O'Flanagan for another settler. Straight up the middle, O'Flanagan. They're 20 short of the line now. Played to Dagwell. McConnell's cut out pass for Afagaffa, and he keeps it alive too. Back there to Farron Anderson. But again, that solid defence of Redcliffe is effective. Asiri Lang back inside to McConnell. McConnell then for Purdon. Trent Purdon. How about that tackle of Shane Tronk around the little man? Nice run from Ryan Gundry. McConnell, Brett McConnell is elusive. Managed to get it away to Tony Gray. Gray for the line. Can he get it down? Having a look, Adam Neal is going to go and have a look at the video ref.
Well, it's the first time I think we've gone to the video today. We had about second time, that's right. We had a stack of them last week. Looked to me like Tony Gray in a very strong and forceful effort has got this down. He slips between players. Well, it looks like he's inevitably going to score it from there. Hands trying to come in to block it, getting to the ground. You'd have to think that has touched down. And I'd say Burleigh have got their second try of the match, and perhaps the light at the end of the tunnel has just been switched back on. Still waiting for the decision. Let's have another look at it.
Shane Tronk is pretty strong, and he starts lifting Gray here and gets his knee underneath him just to create maybe some doubt. But as you say, it looks like the ball's on the ground come the finish of it. Tries awarded.
Video ref is Eddie Ward. There's some hope for Burleigh, only a glimmer.
16-point margin. This conversion for Reggie Cressbrook will be important. There it is again. Ryan Gundry running, then away to McConnell. He stepped underneath a high one, managed to slip it back to Tony Gray, and Gray decided, well, let's just go straight for the line. And off he headed, puts his head down and barges. It was a good effort by Tronk and also by Daniel Green to try and prevent him from getting the ball down, but it all came to nothing. Reggie Cressbrook with a key conversion. The grand final is not over yet. The fat lady was all tuning up. But now Reggie Cressbrook. He struck it well, he's got it. It's now 26-12 in favour of Redcliffe.
McConnell set himself to take on the line and very nearly burst through it. And just got collared by Jones and thrown back, but had the awareness, despite being hit around the head, to slip the pass away to Gray. Just got himself onside. And then Tony Gray just took them on. Good strong running. Bashes his way through a couple of tackles. Forces his way over the line. Tronk and Green did their best, but couldn't hold him up. So the game is back on. We've got 15 minutes to go. 14 points the difference.
Certainly can be done. So the last 15 minutes of the grand final will have us on our toes, especially if Burleigh can score again.
Oh, yeah. Burleigh now to bring it out of their own territory. Shane O'Flanagan, they should lift from this. People want to put in a big set of 6 here to keep them down inside their own territory. They're going to move it wide straight away. Up to Cressbrook, another high tackle. Should at least bring a penalty, but it doesn't. Surprises me. Tony Gray wraps again.
That's good work by Gray. He's hungry for work. He's trying to turn the tide.
Well, the dummy half goes Trent Purdon. He's had a good game this afternoon. Purdon steals another few metres. Fourth tackle. 40-20 would have been useful, but they're going to kick. Well, I can't believe that.
that you'd kick on the 5th tackle, but you haven't stayed behind your 40 to try and do it. So they just knock it straight downfield. So all they're trying to do is put a little bit of pressure back on Redcliffe and hope for an error. I don't know whether they'll get it. Redcliffe are playing quite composed football.
Burleigh's kicking has let them down all day. That kick went straight to the fullback. We've seen Ryan Gundry earlier in the game kick 3, I think it is, out on the full. Just hasn't been their strength, which it should have been today.
And it gives Redcliffe plenty of time to get that ball back, and they've made it to the halfway already.
Yeah, it's just really not the play you want when you're sitting that many points behind. Jason Campbell cut down and a good tackle. Up to Perry. They've done what they wanted, Redcliffe, and that's use the 6 and get a good kick away. And Perry keep this in the field of play. Yes, he can. That's a perfect set of 6 at this stage for Redcliffe. Good, steady play, nothing silly, and put Burleigh as far from the try line as you possibly can.
And they've got 12 of last year's grand final team going around Redcliffe. They're showing that composure.
Yep.
And if you think of the kicking game as well as Shane Perry, he put on that kick for an Aaron Barba try. He just bombed it magnificently. His kicking has always been away from the defensive players. He's just been superb, and his high bombs, of course, have given them real chances and put lots of pressure on the guys like Trent Purdon up the back for Burleigh. So Shane Perry has just been a key player in this match as Ryan Gundry has thumped into the ground.
Ben Jones, it was, who made the tackle too. He's had a great game, Jones, today.
He hurt Gundry. He certainly hurt Gundry. McConnell now kicks, but it's straight down the throat of Justin Mackay. So yet another one that just finds the man, Shilvok, Bill Shilvok. Upended by Reggie Cressbrook.
They might have to try the short kick because the wingers and the fullback are all back deep.
17 for 8.
Well, Redcliffe look a little bit disorganised here, not quite sure what to do with the ball, so Shilvok puts his head down and takes the tackle. 12 from halfway, Aaron Barba a dummy half, Adam Starr.
Let's go, boys. 1-3, come on.
He's very big and strong, although, interestingly, Adam Starr and Shane Trent haven't had the impact on the Burleigh defence that they have on some of the other teams that we've seen Redcliffe play against this year, but combined they've done so much together, this Redcliffe team. Ben Jones caught 35 out, flung away by Matty Anderton. Field goal attempt by Shane Perry, and he's got it. No, he hasn't. I saw the hand in the air and I thought, no. Away to the left, Shane Perry is trying everything. It's his second field goal attempt. The first one trying to get them, a 9-point advantage in that first half, and they ended up scoring a converted try after it. So let's hope from Burleigh's point of view that doesn't happen this time.
I don't know that was the smartest option I've ever seen. They've got a 14-point lead. What does 1 point add to it? Rather, you don't want control over the game. Keep it down there. Put it into the end goal. Get another set.
Tony Gray playing the ball. Ryan Daggle into Redcliffe's half. Burleigh is where they want to be. McConnell, that was a good pass for him, and McConnell's little kick over the top was beautifully taken by Purdon. They must score this time. Purdon's in. Can he get it down? Yes! Trying to put it under the goalpost. Burleigh have kept the grand final alive.
Well, Warren called for the short kick, and that's exactly what Burleigh have exploited. Little chip over the top. Beautifully weighted kick. They're up very flat. It was part of a set piece. Taken on the full, I think, by McConnell. No, taken on the full by Purdon, and then he had McConnell backing up as well. Decides not to use him, and the defence couldn't stop him getting the ball down. Certainly in that last rolling motion, finally grounds it. Aaron Barba couldn't prevent it, and Burleigh have put back-to-back tries on to all of a sudden get themselves back in with just a half a chance. This is a grand final.
And that makes you question that decision to go for a field goal again. Reggie Cressbrook with the conversion can bring it back to 8 points, and he's kicked it okay, so it's 26-18 in favour of Redcliffe.
It's an amazing competition, this Queensland Cup. You really do have to wait till the 80th minute because anything can happen. McConnell's a smart player. That's a good kick. Well judged, well taken by Purdon. Sets sail for the line himself rather than risk the pass. Gets it down. And Burleigh, 2 tries in quick time. Have Redcliffe closed up shop a little bit too early here. They've been playing the steady game. Maybe a little bit of the zip has gone out of them. The force of their game might have just dissipated. It's not all over. Just under 10 minutes. 1 converted try gets Burleigh within 2 points. Well, they're going to have to do better than that.
I think the instruction from the coach at half-time was if you can get within 8 points with about 10 to go, we're in with a chance.
And that's what they've done. Affagaffa, 26-18, 10 minutes to go. And now there's a bit more urgency in that Redcliffe defence. Baron Anderson Caught on his own 20. Tony Gray, hasn't he played well, but he's smacked backwards. Is that Ben Jones again? No, it was his second row partner, Danny Burt. Across field, Latio, nice offload, but couldn't be held. Into the hands of Stan Berryman and out again. Knock on by Burleigh. It's a Redcliffe scrum in an attacking situation. Can Redcliffe put in the killer blow here?
It was almost a miracle ball there by Latio. He went around the back to pop the pass. Couldn't be handled by Berryman. He probably dragged it forward automatically, and then Roberts coming up to make the tackle.
Well, this is where Burleigh, they just have to tackle. They have to hold Redcliffe out here.
Perry. Peter Mackay has had a very good game. Justin Mackay. Damien Richter's dropped into dummy half. Steps away from them. No, can't get away from the marker. Reggie Cressbrook. Aaron Barba. Dangerous whenever he lurks in midfield. Pops up the big man and Adam Starr. Redcliffe realising the clock is on their side. They don't need to do anything too fancy. Restart of the tackle count would do them at the end of the day. Danny Berkeley's also had a good game. Jason Campbell, a dummy half, he runs out of there. Well, Daniel Green popped it out the back to Perry. Beautiful quick hands to Roberts. They got extras out here. Ben Jones going to go himself. Jones close to the try line. He's over and scores it. A reward for a great try here from Ben Jones. They got it onto the outside. The Burleigh defence has come up and in all day. And, of course, the risk is if you allow your opponents to get on the outside, you're going to be in a spot of bother. And finally, the passing. And there was some great passing in that move. From memory, a number of passes just quickly offloaded to keep the ball alive.
Perry's a beauty here.
That was it. It was Shane Perry's pick up and fling it away then. And they had the numbers then, but there was still a lot of work to do. And how about Ben Jones? He just decided to take him on, really go for the line. Then he had to get the arms free to get the ball down. He did all that, and he has probably sealed the grand final win. Another one for the Redcliffe Dolphins.
Another one. That'll be 4 from 7 now. They will have won in their Queensland Cup period. They've played in 7 of all 8 grand finals. And great effort. This. Have a look at the handling here. Quick pass to Green. I thought it could have been a little bit suspect. Picked up by Perry. And then Roberts, quick hands. They knew the chances were on the outside. And Ben Jones, who gets across. His father, Bobby Jones, played 2 grand finals for Redcliffe back in the 70s and was not successful in winning either of those. Son Ben has achieved the grand final and premiership feat.
Yeah, that's a fantastic effort by Jones to score there. Really took them on, didn't he? I was just starting to think about some of those great finishes we've seen in the grand finals of the Queensland Cup, going right down to the wire, nail-biting finishes. But looks like Redcliffe have got this in the bag now.
Justin Mackay with the conversion attempt across the face, no goal. 30 points, still 18, 6 minutes to go.
12 points should be too much now for Burleigh. Just that one drop ball when they're on a roll, let them down again. It's hard when you're taking a few risks and got to make it happen. But it's really, I'll look back on this game and it's handling that has killed them today, Burleigh.
It can be pretty frustrating to go through an entire year to finish on top of the competition ladder as Burleigh have done, and then to have a disappointing game. You know that you've got to come back and do it all again next year, hope to make amends, but you've got to wait a whole year before you can avenge a grand final defeat. And it becomes pretty difficult to accept. Adam Starr, 15 from the halfway. The Redcliffe Dolphins, and you can call them the mighty Redcliffe Dolphins because as a club that's what they are. Looks like, well, it's the knockout. No, yes, the knock on by Jason Campbell. But they won the Colts. They won the A grade. And we saw Ben Jones scoring that try. His younger brother scored a try in the Colts game as well. So it'll be a big night tonight at the Jones household, that's for sure. That's if they get home.
Ready, Brenny. Get in. Out.
Burleigh, Reggie Cressbrook.
Help, Brian, let go. 10, 10.
Trent Purdon shows the ball, gets it to Farron Anderson. Burleigh can score again. Well, it's just not enough time now. Afagaffa. Still going, Affa. That's the 20-metre line. Dagwell looks to the right, then looks to the left. That's where most of the numbers are. Well picked up by Brent McConnell. This time can't get through the defence. Ryan Dagwell. Little kick by Daggle's too long. Across the dead ball line. Redcliffe will have it at the 20.
Well, the kicking has let them down today, Burleigh. Their defence, or their handling has let them down as well on a few occasions. But had they kicked better, they would have been able to apply some more consistent pressure. They haven't been able to do that. They haven't been able to judge this breeze at their back. The grubber kick going well over the dead ball line. And Redcliffe, well, congratulations to the Dolphins. Fantastic performance to win in all three grades. And Shane Perry has had a fantastic match. Pops a little pass up to Daniel Green. An upending tackle will bring about at least a penalty.
Who was it, Clarence?
Good work by Green, good sportsmanship. He said, I'm fine. He just hopped back up to his feet, waved to the refs, said, look, there's no damage done. And you mentioned that inability to judge the wind today by Burleigh. Maybe that has been one factor. Redcliffe playing at home, hosting the grand final because Lang Park's not available. They, of course, do know the conditions here a little bit better.
Wait now, good.
And they have used them to perfection. As a matter of fact, Warren, I think that Shane Perry has used the breeze much better this week than he did last week when it was considerably stronger.
He's played a masterful game, particularly the first half. Shane Perry had a great game, and that was where the game was won and lost, the last 20 minutes, 25 minutes of the first half.
Andrew Wynyard caught inside the 40. Down to just 3 minutes to go in the grand final as Ben Jones shows the ball, having scored a try already. Looking for maybe another one, and Tony Gray executing the tackle. It's all slowed down now, and you can understand that. Field goal attempt again by Perry.
Fair time, Lucky?
No, away to the left. Now that one I agree with. He's got it. The icing on the cake for Shane Perry.
I think the policeman behind the goalpost signalled that it went through. I think there's about 4 of them down there. And Shane Perry, who's tried 3 times today to get a field goal, finally puts it across. He's pretty happy with himself too.
Yeah, but there's value in that one. I mean, not that the Redcliffe are going to score. I sure Burleigh were going to score 2 converted tries anyway, but that certainly puts them out of reach. They missed the conversion last time round, which would have made it and breathe easier, but now they're home and host and celebrating Redcliffe.
Yes, a 13-point margin. 2 minutes to go in the grand final of 2003. And as they've done so many times before, the Redcliffe Dolphins will celebrate a Queensland Cup again. Adam Starr, who's been one of the stars of this magnificent team. And Neil Wharton, their coach, has done a superb job. As Andrew Wynyard is tackled 10 short of the halfway, it takes him a little while to play the ball. Campbell flicks it away. Carted forward now by Danny Burke. Campbell again, the one-handed pickup. How about Troy Lindsay? How would he be feeling right now? A grand 7 of the Redcliffe club plays the ball. And Jason Campbell with the kick downfield. Once again, the fact that the ball's rolling on the ground means that the chasers are able to get through there on Trent Purdon. And he takes the tackle just inside his 30-metre line. 31-18 in favour of Redcliffe. Dimitri Pello just pushing off tacklers, looking for something that might happen. Even Burleigh accepting the inevitable now as the ball goes to ground. Ryan Dagwell not quite handling it. A scrum will form as we get into the last minute of the grand final, and then the celebrations will start for this Redcliffe crowd. Last year they had a special reason to celebrate because 2 years ago they were beaten on the bell by Toowoomba. They came back last year and claimed another one. And in some ways, they were the outsiders here. They lost the major semi to Burleigh 2 weeks ago. But now they're about to celebrate again. Again, the kick, the early kick by Shane Perry. And it's going to sit up in the in-goal area. Affagaff will have to run it out. As we are in the final minute, Gaffo make a touch shot just come on.
Yeah, Aaron Barba was knocked over trying to chase that kick.
I didn't see one.
Oh, there you go. Clearly knocked over. I don't know how Adam Neal missed it. Touch judge has seen it. I don't think there's much dispute that he was knocked over as he tried to chase. The player went out of his way, in my view.
Go heel where the ball landed.
By the way, David, who's in line? Who are you considering for the man of the match?
Well, David's on his way down
here to tell us.
Warren.
Number one.
But
Aaron Barba revving up the crowd. Here's Barba chasing through here, and Purdon takes him out. From my view, he made an effort to knock him over. It went towards him and certainly hit him late-ish.
Well, speaking of man of the match, Warrior, he'd have to be up there, wouldn't he? In consideration of Barba.
Absolutely.
Penalties here, okay? No dramas.
So the penalty goes to Redcliffe, 35 metres out. We really only have about 10 seconds left. Shane Perry will kick for touch. He finds touch. Will we have the tap? The clock is counting down to 5 seconds to go, and they might get another try. Jason Campbell is very close. Is he over? He's going to have a look. No, it's full time. Full time, and the Redcliffe Dolphins have won another grand final. 31-18. Redcliffe have defeated Burleigh. It's all over. The celebrations can now start. And what a performance by this Redcliffe team. They have had to play the preliminary final last week. Admittedly, they have the advantage of playing at home, but they knew that they had the work in front of them. Burleigh have such a strong record against them. Burleigh beat them even though it was only by 2 points. It was much more convincing on the football field in the major semi-final. So Redcliffe knew then that they had a lot of work to do. There, their coach Neil Wharton. How proud he must be of these guys. What a superb job they have done. As this congratulated, we'll go down to Warren Boland. He's got the man of the match, and it is Aaron Barba.
Celebrations all round down here. Aaron Barba, player of the grand final. Congratulations, outstanding effort.
Thanks, mate. Thanks a lot. To all the Redcliffe boys, all the supporters. It was a good win today, get 3 out of 3. I couldn't ask for anything else.
Yeah, it's a dream come true to win a grand final and score 3 tries.
Yeah, it is, mate. It's real good. It's real good to win.
Hand over the trophy. You're up. Some great players in your team like Shane Perry and Ben Jones. Everyone played well, but you're the man of the match.
Oh, mate, we couldn't have done it without them. But, yeah, I'd like to say that my nieces back home, Tia and Kimmy, to say hello, and all my family back home. Thanks a lot.
There's the trophy.
Thanks a lot, mate.
There he is. The man of the match, the man of the grand final, Aaron Barba. 3 spectacular tries. He's a showman, but boy, he's a rugby league player. There's no doubt about that. And you can see all the people in red here at Redcliffe. Their coach, Neil Wharton, is on the sideline now with David Wright.
Neil, mate, what's that, 3 grand finals now? Is it just a sweep?
Yeah, they're nice. We had a lot of adversity this year, and to come over the top and finish like that's a true credit to the players. I'm very proud of them.
Because Burleigh hit back hard at you in the second half, and it wasn't as if it was all your own way.
Well, they're a good side, Burleigh. They probably didn't play as well as they could have liked to on the day, but, that's a credit to us. But they're a fantastic side, Burleigh, and they should be proud of their effort.
Mate, you've got a couple of fans here as well, have you?
Yeah, mate, I've got a few family friends. I've got Peter Robinson over here. He's my assistant coach, and Dave Simpson. They're all part of it. It's just been a tremendous effort by the whole club.
Come over here, Robbo. You also played here at Redcliffe, didn't you, mate, and performed with distinction?
Oh, a long time ago, Whitey. A long time ago. But look, this crowd is fantastic, and the guys did a great job today in this heat, so credit to them.
Well done, mate. As you say, it wasn't all easy going this year. You hit a bit of a dud spot for a while.
Yeah, look, I'd like to speak on that, David, but before I do so, Johnny Sloan, my team manager, great Redcliffe bloke, he lost his dad last night. Lukey Scott lost his dad. It's been a real... Lukey, to you and to all, Mrs. Sloan, thanks very much.
Well, mate, congratulations. Well done. Fantastic effort by Redcliffe. Well done, Neil. Good on you, mate.
Cheers.
Yes, emotion here for the grand final. And the players, you might have noticed, the Redcliffe players were wearing black armbands, and we heard the explanation there, and certainly we pass on our condolences to the families of those involved. What a grand final, what a performance by Redcliffe. They dominated just about everything. The penalties were pretty even, but look at the completion rates. In the end, they finished with 33 from 45 as opposed to 24 from 42. They had 60% of possession. They had 61% of domination of territory. Poor old Burleigh had to do a whole lot of tackling, almost 100 more tackles than the Dolphins had to do. 27 missed tackles as opposed to 22. So even though they had to do all that tackling, they still tackled well, Burleigh. But it wasn't to be their day. The line breaks were even, but on the scoreboard was where it counted. And that's where the Redcliffe Dolphins ran out big winners. 31 points to 18 to claim another Queensland Cup. Shortly that will be presented to them in front of this big crowd that has turned up to watch their team in action. And look at some of the celebrations down there of all these Redcliffe fans, the Redcliffe players and the Redcliffe officials. And you have to feel for Rick Stone. He's just completed his 10th year as coach. Of course, he started as captain coach of the Burleigh Bears. He won one premiership with them back in 1999. And a lot of people were predicting that this year was going to be the Burleigh Bears' year. As a matter of fact, Neil Wharton said that he has always respected Burleigh and thought that perhaps they deserve to be in grand finals more often than they have been in the last half dozen years or so. This time they made it. This time they got the minor premiership, but they were unable to win the one that counted, and that's the grand final. There, Ben Jones celebrating, and another happy dad there.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the official presentation of the trophy for the Queensland Cup for 2003. It's now my pleasure to call on the chairman of the Queensland Rugby League, Mr. John McDonald.
Thanks, John. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's my very great pleasure on behalf of the board of the Queensland Rugby League to congratulate the Redcliffe Dolphins on winning this year's Queensland Cup. It's been a terrific season for them. To Neil Wharton, the coach, and to the captain, Michael Roberts, congratulations on a fine victory. 31 points to 18 was the final result, and I must say it was a most entertaining game. To the Burleigh Bears, who had been the pace setters throughout the season, to Dean Allen, the captain, and to Rick Stone, congratulations on being in the final. However, Redcliffe was far superior today. So all the teams who participated this year, congratulations and thank you. And I would place on record our grateful thanks to ABC TV for the excellent coverage that they've given to our great game of rugby league.
Thank you very much, John McDonald. Now, there has to be, unfortunately, a loser, but I'm sure you'll agree, ladies and gentlemen, that during this year, the Burleigh Bears have certainly acquitted themselves so well. They were the minor premiers, they were the first side into the grand final, and they've given an outstanding effort today, and that comeback in the second half showed what a good side they are. Would you please now welcome the captain of the Burleigh Bears to say a few words, Dean Allen.
Thank you. First of all, I want to congratulate Redcliffe. Once again, I think it's the first time in the history they've won all three grades, so it just shows what club every other club wants to be. And I want to congratulate them, not only in the club championships, but winning three grades and then beating us as well today. To our blokes, everyone's probably written us off from about round 3 onwards. And we fought on. I love them all. Thanks.
Thanks very much, Dean. Dean Allen, the captain of the Burleigh Bears. It has been a great day for Redcliffe. To think that all three of their teams have won grand finals and they've all come through the hard way, having to come through a preliminary final. It shows the great depth of the club. Would you now please welcome the winning captain, Michael Roberts, to receive the Queensland Cup from John McDonald. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Roberts.
Thanks for everyone coming out today. It's a great day, all three grades. A few people I'd like to thank. Firstly, our coach Neil Wharton. He's been here for a while now. He just keeps getting results, so he must be doing something right. To our whole coaching staff, all the other grades, especially David Simpson, who's just keeps on soldiering on, just a rock for our side. Without him, we'd struggle. He's a great trainer and should go to the next level. I'd also like to thank our major sponsors, Pepsi and the Redcliffe Leagues Club. Yeah, all the fans for coming out today. It's a great day. All three grades, and we're going to have a big party tonight. So giddy up.
Now, Michael, we're going to call on you to introduce your players individually as they come up and receive their winner's medallion from John McDonald.
Righto, firstly, number 1, Justin Mackay. Number 2, Philly Shulwalk. Next, we got the Rock, Damien Richters. Other centres, Brian Jellick, BJ. And number 5, man of the match, Aaron Barba. Phew! 6, Shane Perry, the Fridge. 8, we got Adam Starr. Big Starry. Get up here, Starry. Shane Tronk.
And so the Redcliffe players receive the accolades. They've won the Queensland Cup of 2003, which we've enjoyed bringing you on ABC television. Thanks for your company through the year.